Today I want to talk about what Ohio State President Kristina Johnson had to say about the prospect of playing football this fall. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, this morning, I want to talk about what Kristina Johnson had to say to local TV in Columbus, Ohio, about the prospect of playing football. I, like you, went to bed thinking this Ohio State story, this Big Ten story, probably going to pick back up, but not at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time as it did. Woke up, read the story, thought I needed to digest it and do a little bit more digging to figure out what was going on here and then present it to you. So this is what I have found, and I'm going to give you a little bit of where I think we're going with this. But the quote that she gave to NBC4 in Columbus is, "We want to make sure our athletes get a shot because they've worked really hard and they deserve a shot to play. At the same time, we want to make sure that they're safe, so we're doing our work. We'll come back, and I'm very hopeful that we'll be playing football this fall." She said this again in an exclusive interview with NBC4 just a day after the White House reached out to Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren. And the pull quote from the Saturday was, "We were going to play football starting Thanksgiving." The pull quote from Monday is that there was an 11-3 vote for which 3 university presidents voted to play football in the fall. Ohio State was reportedly one of them. And I think that this is also Kristina Johnson's idea of trying to further that narrative. And then I want to do a little bit of digging about Johnson to find some interesting facts. She's appointed to this role in June and not necessarily sure about her football credentials until did some digging. It turns out she not only has some football credentials, she has some tremendous Ohio State University credentials. She comes from SUNY as the leader there, chancellor of State University in New York systems. And her grandfather, not her great-grandfather, was a right guard on the 1896 Ohio State Buckeyes team. And family lore is he met her grandmother on campus at Ohio State. He was also a member of the Tesla Club, among other things. And 1896 is a big deal because that means that the team was also integrated at the time. One of the things that I like most about Ohio State, and for that matter Michigan, is that they integrated their football teams in the 19th century. For perspective, the first black letter winner at the University of Texas didn't appear until 1970. That's 80 years later, right? Now add to this what Ohio State football means in the community around Columbus, and the idea that Ohio State fans are going to have to watch Cincinnati play, but not be able to watch their own team play. Or add to that the MAC is going, why is President Trump just trying to help the Big Ten succeed? Why isn't he trying to help the rest of us? We are also part of those Midwestern states that he is trying to win. Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Indiana, all of those states are pivotal to him being reelected. And then there's this whole bit about the Pac-12 and how he has not had anything at all to say to them about, you need football and we need you to play football. And I really want to see California play football. Now, California is also in a bad way, but so is the state of Oklahoma. And we're playing football. High school football has already begun. We're going into week 2 and week 3 of high school football. The University of Oklahoma just named its starting quarterback in Spencer Rattler. They're going to start with Missouri State in just over a week's time. And on it goes. Like, Oklahoma State is going to play Tulsa in an interstate. Well, we think it's a rivalry. We're trying to make it a rivalry. It's not really a rivalry. Arkansas is playing football. Texas is playing football. Florida is playing football. For Ohio not to play football, or I should say Ohio State not to play football, is tremendously debilitating for not just football fans, but for them. And the same can be said about Michigan. I have a Saturday podcast going up with Martin Warren, who is the father of Darian Green Warren, who's a true freshman cornerback at Michigan, about what it's like to be a Michigan parent, his recruiting, and what he's learning day after day about playing football in the fall. And it feels like what Dr. Johnson has said is what's going to go. If they play football in the fall, it's going to be a late fall. It's going to be around Thanksgiving, but she is pushing for it. And the way that she's pushing for it is by saying, hey, socially distance. do your part, wash your hands, wear your mask. And as they get the rapid test, as we get closer to what we think is a vaccine with tremendous incentives already in play for somebody to come up with a vaccine, we can start to think about playing college football in the Big Ten. I don't know what a college football season might look like, though, if you started in the fall, because we have a plan that I want to go over in the live show at 3 o'clock today that shows how you could start football the Dan Patrick way, as I'm going to call it, in October, get 8 games in, and still play for a conference championship, still have an opportunity to have your conference champion play in the college football playoff. She understands that this Ohio State Buckeyes football team in 2020 is one of the best that they have had in recent memory, and certainly has an opportunity to challenge for a national championship. But the later you go with kicking off that season, the less likely you are to actually play in anything like a college football playoff, let alone a national championship. And while I can agree with the decision to postpone, I can't agree that this decision was done well or that the decision was made on time. Because the thing that has come out that I think is true is the folks that have taken their time look so much better right now. Like, the SEC was always going to play football, you ask me, but the way that Greg Sankey has been able to control the narrative by saying we're moving very, very slowly, by pushing the start of their season back to September 26th, by just letting the process go, even as his conference is in a part of the state that is overrun with this virus, the narrative around the SEC has been so much better because they have been able to control the messaging and because Greg Sankey quite literally is better at this than Kevin Warren, and he should be. Greg Sankey was raised by Mike Slive to take this job. Kevin Warren came over from the NFL to take this job, and I think he made a common mistake that many folks that work or follow the NFL make, which is to say that college is easy because college is like a minor league NFL, and all we want to do is watch the kids play. No, college football is big business. And collectively, I think it is a bigger sport than the NFL. And if we were able to make one fit all, and by that I mean make everybody a part of the same league, we would be bigger than the NFL. But because we're so regional, we're so splintered. And that's why Ohio State is in the middle of this, not playing football, because they are in a part of the region led by a group of university presidents, fronted by one commissioner who have chosen not to start fall football in September like the 3 other Power 5 conferences. It's just what it is. Sucks, but I thought that you would want to know that. Again, show up for the live stream at 3 o'clock, and we'll get more into this, take some of your questions. All right, that is it for me. Deuces.